Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Light Sports Ramble. I am Troy Otradovic, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Evan Wotolison. Tonight, we preview the Packers game on Sunday versus the Dallas Cowboys. So sit back and enjoy our ramble. And with that said, Evan, this game has huge playoff implications. I mean, to be honest, neither team will be mathematically eliminated after this week. But for all purposes, whoever loses this week is done. Because they would have to have basically a miracle to win their division. Neither team are getting a wild card. They have to win their division. So this is week 2 in a row for the Packers, a playoff game. It is win or go home, really, when you look at the results. And so the Packers come in 6-1, half game out of first. The Cowboys come in at 7-6, game behind the Eagles. Now, they do play the Eagles in the last week, but if they lose this week, for all purposes, if the Eagles win, they're pretty much done with 2 games to go. So, with that said, Bud, as we always do in the Packer preview, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we're going to start talking about the keys to the game on Sunday for the Packers and how we can get by with the win. But before we do that, let's fill the fans in because it's all the talk. Even my Cowboy followers on Twitter, like they think I know something different than the professionals. They're asking me if Aaron Rodgers is going to play Sunday. So let's give the update about Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Rodgers practiced again today, just like he did yesterday. Wasn't limited, but he did take reps with the first team. He did that as well yesterday as well. I guess from what you were saying pre-show, I haven't heard that he has a scan scheduled, but you had said that in pre-show that they're going to do another scan tomorrow. And if the scan shows that it's healed and he doesn't have any lingering pain from practice the last couple of days, I think Rodgers will get the medical, the clearance to go. When it happened last week, it wasn't so much the scan that set him back. It was that he was having some pain and discomfort after going through practices. So that's basically what's going to come down to is the results of the scan if there's any lingering pain. So if I was a betting man, I would say I would be beginning of the week, I was 80% sure he would play. Now I'm probably about a 60% sure he'll play. But if I was a betting man, I would bet he would play. But I don't know. What do you think, Troy?
No, I'm totally against you on that. I don't think he plays again. Just the way that this is going, just something telling me he's not going to suit up. McCarthy's got the game plan in place for Flynn. I know if he's ready that they can put him in on an instant. And I even know he said in his podcast it wouldn't take him that long to prepare to start. But I just think it's getting so late in the week. I mean, I know the scan could come tomorrow. They could clear him medically. But I just don't think he plays again this week. And I think we've got to put our hopes in Matt Flynn. And honestly, that thought process that I have is a big part of my prediction for Sunday. Because I hope he plays. Don't get me wrong. You and I rambled about this, I believe, last week. We talked about the Favre, when Favre had that sprained ankle and just showed up in the tunnel. I would love to be watching the game on Sunday and see Rodgers in the tunnel, suited up. I mean, we'll probably know before then, the way that things leak out in the NFL today. But that would just be, to me, it would be a major medical miracle if he plays. I'm not as confident as you. I think it's about a 25% chance he plays. I hope you're right on this one. This is one I want to be totally wrong on, because my thought right now is that with Matt Flynn, it's going to be a tough game on Sunday. With Rodgers, my whole thought process would change. But with that said, I'm going to let you get into the keys for Sunday, bud.
Well, Sunday is a game between the Cowboys, who have the worst defense in the league, ranked 32nd overall, give up 26 points per game, almost 27 points per game, 32nd in passing yards allowed, 28th in rushing yards allowed, 26th in getting sacks. They are 13th in interceptions, with 13 on the year, and they do have 12 fumbles recovered on the year. And then we all know since Aaron Rodgers got hurt, the Packers' defense hasn't been as good. They had some nice stops last week in Atlanta, but overall, once Rodgers went down, the defensive flaws have been pretty much exposed. So looking at the game, there's a couple keys. Is one, the Packers have to protect the football. With the Cowboys' defense being so bad, we can't give them opportunities to get off the field. We have to be able to run the ball, which we should be able to if Lacey plays, and also a start. So we should be able to run the ball on them. And Matt Flynn should be able to throw the ball on them. The Cowboys play with Monte Kiffin, a Tampa 2 style defense, and that fits right into Matt Flynn's hands. In order to beat the Cowboys, you're going to have to dink and dunk it downfield because you're going to have a hard time beating that Tampa 2 over the top. So that's going to be the key, and that's what Matt Flynn excels at. Obviously, if Rodgers plays, they can take a little bit more challenges, but they have to protect the football. That's key number one, because whatever defenses forces that turnover is going to be the team that wins it. Defensively, same for the Packers. They got to basically do same thing they did against Atlanta. They have to win first and second down, force Tony Romo into third and long situations, and don't allow him to be able to use that three-step drop. They also got to slow down Dez Bryant, and they got to contain Jason Witten, two big weapons in the Cowboys' offense. And then DeMarco Murray, they got to be able to stop Murray. Murray can gash them for a lot of yards. But if they are able to get up on the scoreboard first, that takes the Murray element out of it. Now, next key on defense is they got to get pressure on Romo. If they make Romo uncomfortable, you said it in the pre-chat, he's prone to make boneheaded mistakes and throw interceptions. So if they can control, not make mistakes on offense, win first and second down to force third and long situations, and get pressure on Romo, the Packers should be able to win this game.
Sounds good.
Keys to victory.
Sounds good. Actually, we have a caller, so before I get into my keys for victory, I'm going to invite the caller in, see what their thoughts are on the Cowboys-Packer game, and then I definitely, with you and I are always on the same page. We laughed about it again in the pre-chat. When we do our research individually, we're always on the same page. So I'm going to invite the caller in, bud, and see what they have to say about the Packers-Cowboys. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Red Light Sports Ramble.
Hey. How you doing? My name is Bosco. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, bud?
Good, how are you?
Well, here's the deal. I'm a Cowboys fan, but the embarrassment on Monday night. I think I wouldn't Rodgers. You got to double check down the guy. I call him. I like the guy a lot. And you got to go to Jerry's World. You got to replicate what the Biatches did on Monday night. They embarrassed us. I got sucked into that game. I thought we'd win, but you plan God laughs. Nancy Boy. We've been meet a rock since 1995. I said before, I was at the Mall of America the other day. I was a Packer store that sells cheese, and it's really, I know he's like talking about football, and I said the biggest mistake and choice was when McCarthy didn't play your quarterback when they got him and the rookie. You guys went for Kiss Your Sister and lost the Vikings. That was a huge game for you guys to win. If you would have had him in there in the first place, when he came back, he knew the system, gave 20 plays. I think you can go in there, you replicate the Bears. You can beat the Cowboys. They're old. They're the people old defensive coordinator. You just got to. Look how they made us look foolish. Those wide receivers. McCown looked like a Hall of Famer. If you guys can't beat them, you don't want to see double check in there. You got to go with the quarterback that has a hot hand. You're going to bring him in, and he's going to be cold. You don't want to see him in there. I know I heard at the beginning. You do not want to see him in the tunnel. Okay. You want to see what's gotten you here. Who's gotten you this far so far now? What quarterback?
Well,
it would be the guy that
we
quarterback that's right now.
Yeah, we can say Matt. We can say Matt Flynn, but
the quarterback.
But when we look at the record,
but he got you here. He got you here.
Well,
so far, if he would have been playing when they brought him in, you would easily beat the Motor City Kitties. They're beatable. The Katy Cats are, but the tie irritated me, which I've always said there should be no ties in football. You should score a touchdown to win. No punting, no kicking. You get in 6 points, get it done. There's no excuse. You should ties and there's people low men, someone wins. Same thing in pumpkin ball and hockey, but I don't believe in ties. You don't want to kiss your sister. This isn't fun. But point is, Flynn's your guy. He's got the hot hand. He got you. I'm sorry. You want to take the Packers. You guys barely got by the Fakers, but you got it done. You can beat the Cowboys. The defense are getting guys off of couches. This is your game to go into your world and send them down the road.
Yeah, well,
Chance in the Cowboys, the golf course. The idiots should win in Grand Junction, Minnesota.
well,
if the Green Bay Packers can't win in Dallas, something serious wrong.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna get into my thought on Matt Flynn and how he can actually exploit that Cowboy defense, because I think you're absolutely right. What I watched on Monday night, I saw
you flush those safeties deep and use the middle of the field. Flush those safeties deep.
Exactly, and
get the linebackers on your tight ends.
Yeah, and Evan actually had mentioned.
I said my podcast.
Yeah, Evan actually had mentioned that.
Show, and I talked about it in the.
Wonderful.
It's over.
Wonderful. Like, I appreciate you calling in, bud. I know that we follow each other on Twitter now, and I've listened into a couple of your shows. You got some good stuff going on, so feel free to call anytime, bud. I appreciate it.
Bye.
So, Evan, what he's saying, I know, and the thing with Matt Flynn is, he is the guy. Our record hasn't been great, but I think, Evan, that he does have some opportunity, like you said, against the Tampa 2. Matt Flynn's strength is to hit that short intermediate route. And the way the Cowboys were defending the Bears on Monday night, that's what the Bears were doing. Now, if we can do that and actually break some tackles, I think we have some opportunity. What do you think about that right there, Evan? Let's focus on that. If we can get Nelson and Boykin into those seams in the middle of that defense, and Flynn can be accurate, I think we can have some success in there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that Packers are going to see a lot of Jordy Nelson in the slot, regardless who's playing quarterback. If it's 12, if it's 10, there's going to be a lot of Jordy in the slot. So look for them to exploit that mismatch, and look for Corliss to build off of the game that he had last week when he had 6 catches for, I believe, 66 yards against Atlanta. So look for Corliss, look for Bostic, and look for Nelson to be able to attack that slot, especially that middle of the field, that seam, especially with possibly no Sean Lee. I haven't heard if he's playing yet or not, but if Sean Lee doesn't go, that's a huge hole in the middle of that defense.
Well, I'll touch on that. I was on NFL.com today. I was looking at the game preview, some of the analysis. Sean Lee has had his test done. They think that he might be able to play. And you and I both know Sean Lee's not the answer to make that defense all of a sudden a top 10 defense, but he is a guy in there. Without him in there, that defense just looks lost. I mean, you could tell on Monday night when he got hurt. I mean, that defense just looked very confused. I mean, he is probably their best player on defense, in my opinion. And without him in there, it just gives the Packers another opportunity. I think it's going to be one of those things as the week goes on to see how that injury is. The article I read is that there's a possibility he could play on Sunday. So right now it's still up in the air as to whether or not he plays, but with him in there, at least there's a little bit more, maybe less confusion when he is in the game. I think one of the big keys here, though, Evan, is kind of what you're saying. It's going to come down to what defense decides to show up and make the play. The Cowboys' defense has the opportunity to create turnovers. You had mentioned it early with your stats. 13 interceptions, 12 fumbles forced, 12 fumbles recovered. They do a good job creating turnovers. So it goes back to your key, protecting the ball. The Packers, on the other hand, if you look at the overall stats, interceptions, they're ranked 31st, but the last couple of games, we've actually been doing a better job creating that turnover by getting some pressure. And so if the Packers can create one of those turnovers, and again, it's switching the field position is going to be key in that. And that's why the turnover is going to be so huge. But when I look at the defenses, I just need to know which one's going to step up, because what I watched on Monday night from the Cowboys, I can say right now, Flynn has an opportunity there. My only concern is, will Kiffin realize that Flynn is not a deep threat? And I know it's hard to switch up a defensive scheme, at week 15, but will all of a sudden he pull those safeties up to try and take away that underneath stuff? I mean, I don't know. He's a good coordinator, but I'm not sure if he all of a sudden does that. We know that my problem with Flynn and your problem, he doesn't progress through his reads. He locks in on one receiver, and when he doesn't have that number one receiver, he's either going to get sacked, he holds on to the ball, or he scampers for a 2 or 3 yard run. If he does that, we're in trouble. So my concern is I don't know what adjustments Kiffin's going to make, realizing that Flynn is not a deep threat. And like you said, that's what the Tampa 2 is against. It's going to be hard to take those deep shots. But with Flynn as the quarterback, he's not taking deep shots anyway. We talked about it in the recap. I believe the only completion over 20 yards was that 46-yarder to Nelson. So what do you think about that thought? What happens now, Evan, if Kiffin decides to bring those safeties up, take away that underneath stuff? What do you think will happen?
Well, if Kiffin does that, I think we're going to unfortunately see a lot of what happened with Detroit. If they pressure that line of scrimmage and not give them anywhere to dump it off to, I think we're going to see a lot of what we saw in Detroit. But from what I've observed from Kiffin during, the many years I've been watching football, from, what I've seen in the Tampa 2 overall, what I've seen from Kiffin is he doesn't get out of the Tampa 2 principles very often. And that's a lot of the Tampa 2 coaches don't. Lovie Smith didn't get out of principles very often. Monty Kiffin doesn't. So I don't see him doing that. I see him staying in that Tampa 2. He might bring the safeties up a little bit and not have them drop as deep. And he may not drop the middle linebacker as deep either. But I don't see him flooding the underneath routes like Detroit did. But if he does do that, we'll be in trouble.
Yeah, we'll be in trouble. I mean, for our sake, for Packer fans, I hope he doesn't. I hope he sticks in the Tampa 2 because, like you said, I think Quarles is starting to break out now and become the man. I think he realizes this injury to Finley, it might be longer than anyone thinks. It might be career-ending, and he's going to have to be the man. And he really had he had a great game last week, and hopefully he's now getting comfortable in that role, and he can be the new go-to man. I thought he had a great game. So my last point, Evan, for the game, and the key to this game, is going to be third down efficiency and what defense can stop the other on third down. When I look at the stats, the Packers are ranked 18th. They're at 39%. The Cowboys are 43%, ranked 28th in the league. So defensively, when I look at third down, whoever wins third down in this game, in my opinion, is going to win the game. And for the Packers defense, that means exactly what you said. Down in distance, they've got to win on first and second down. Again, we can laugh about it. You and I were in the pre-chat. It's like we read each other's mind when we're going through this research. But if they win on first and second down, and they can hold on third down and get those 3 and outs, and not even all 3 and outs, but keep that percentage around 33%, the Packers have a great opportunity to win this game. Offensively, for the Packers to win, and they need to establish, like you said, Starks and Lacy. I really think in this game, I'm calling the breakout player as James Starks. Eddie Lacy's going to be the guy that's going to pound and pound and pound, but I think if they mix it up, give Starks those 8 to 10 carries. If Starks gets 10 carries in this game, Evan, I think that means that we're dominating the line of scrimmage because we've pounded it with Lacy. We bring Starks in to continue doing that. And I think he's a great change back. I think when he comes in that he can get 4 to 5 yards against this defense and give us short third down conversions. And if we do that, the Cowboys are not stopping anyone on third down, and I think we can continue that because a 3rd and 3, we have so many options at that point. So, again, I'm pretty much on the same page with you as the keys to victory. Anything else that you want to add from things that I had put in there?
think you're right on with the keys to victory. And this game, I think, is going to basically come down to, a shootout. And one key I forgot to mention is, and it's something that the Packers haven't done a lot of this year, and they got to start fast. So they have to make a statement early, and they got to start fast. Because if this game does turn into a track meet, which it very much could, I don't know if Matt Flynn has enough juice in the arm to go toe-to-toe with Tony Romo. So the Packers got to start first, put the pressure on the Cowboys, and, force them to answer. And if they can force Tony Romo into third and long situations, there was one play against the Bears that, I don't know, I can't remember if it was fourth down or it might have been third down. He gets the snap, the Bears send some pressure, and he throws the ball away. Like, he doesn't even attempt to try to find a receiver. He just threw it away. And those are the kinds of things Tony Romo can do, is if he gets under pressure, he panics. And if they can win first and second down and force them into longer third down situations, Romo's going to panic and might throw it into some of the, throw it into the Packer jersey. That's going to say throw it into the guys wearing white, but the Cowboys are going to be wearing white, I believe.
Yeah, I don't want to throw.
What they wear for home, right?
Yeah, I don't want them throwing to the white jerseys on Sunday, Evan. I believe they're
in the green jersey Sunday this week, Romo.
Yeah. So, but
that's just weird to me. The Cowboys are the only team in the NFL that have white jerseys at home.
Yeah, it is weird. But hey, we'll take the green on the road. I think we play pretty good in the green.
Yeah.
But I want to just touch on what you were saying, and I had mentioned this when we were chatting before the show. If we don't get that pressure on Romo and we let him sit in the pocket, we've let average quarterbacks look like all pros. Tony Romo, you and I talked about it. He's on the cusp of that franchise tag, the guy that's the franchise-type quarterback. If we let him sit in the pocket, progress through his reads, I don't think our defensive backs are going to be able to man up against Dez Bryant, and he'll find Dez Bryant and tear us apart the whole game. We have to get that pressure on him because, like you said, once we get any pressure, and I'm not talking about having to get sacks. It is not sacks. If we have 0 sacks, but I see Tony Romo running for his life outside the pocket with Clay Matthews bearing down on his back all day, I will be happy because that's when he makes his mistakes. Because he gets out and that's when he will make that throw. And so I want to see pressure. I don't care if we have 0 sacks or 10 sacks. I want to see some pressure. I hope Capers gets a little bit aggressive and does send some of that blitzing like we saw against the Falcons. And I'm going to go back, and I saw you and Michelle last night on Twitter. I didn't get a chance to respond. I want you to let the fans know there's about 6 minutes left. But there's a guy, and you and I have talked about this guy, and you know exactly who I'm talking about now, Richardson. Let's get him on the field because I think he is a diamond in the rough on this defense. How do we get him involved in this game, Evan? Because if he plays, I think he has the size, I think he has the instincts, I think he has the physical nature to really be a difference maker on this defense. So talk to the fans a little bit about this guy. I know we did one time before, but I really like this kid.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Richardson. I've actually liked Richardson since he signed as, I think it was an undrafted free agent from Vanderbilt. I've liked him since then. He's got good size, good speed. His question with that injury that he had, I think it was a neck injury that he had surgery on. He's just coming back now. It might have been back too, one of the two. But he brings a presence back there that they've been lacking with MD Jennings there. Well, MD Jennings, what you see is what you get. Jennings he's at a ceiling. He's not getting any higher. But I think Sean Richardson has a ton of upside. And I think if they use him against the Cowboys like they should, I don't think MD Jennings should be starting. If they use him against the Cowboys, I think he did a really nice job of stopping that run game. He attacking the line of scrimmage, stopping the run game. We didn't see him a lot in coverage, so that's the one question mark people have. But he just brings a different impact to that running game, and he seems like a sure tackler to me. And as you said, the instincts, he seemed to have very good instincts in the run game when there was one play and Michelle had highlighted it, and the run play started out like a run play to the right, and the guy, Steven Jackson, or what might have been the other guy, was going to cut it to the left.
It was
Richardson was able to meet him in the hole.
Yeah, it was Rodgers. Because like I said, I saw you guys tweeting last night. I wanted to get in on that convo. I was just wrapped up in some stuff because I knew if I started getting wrapped up in that Twitter convo, I would have been there for another hour with you guys, which wouldn't have been bad. But it just
late already.
Yeah, so. I didn't have another hour to sit on Twitter and talk Packer football. I would love to, but I just didn't have the time last night. But no, I hope he gets on the field. I think the one thing that I think he brings that we really have been missing is that safety blitz. The guy that can come in and disrupt the backfield. Yeah. We really haven't had it lately, and I think he is a perfect candidate to do that. You know, like you said, we haven't seen him in coverage yet, but I'll tell you what, that guy it just seems to me every time he's on the field, good things happen. So I say he should get some more snaps. Maybe there is something with coverage that you and I don't see, but I like the kid, and I hope he gets some more PT. But with that said, Evan, we've got just under 4 minutes to go, so let's get into the predictions. I'm going to let you go first. What is the result of this game on Sunday?
Well, I think the Packers' defense is going to be the unit that makes the play when it matters. I predict the Packers are going to win it, 31-27. The Packers are going to get another turnover, interception, as the Cowboys are trying to drive for the winning score. And, either Bush again or Williams is going to step up on defense and make a play, and Packers are going to end the game winning 31-27.
We're pretty close in the score. I say the score is going to be 34-31. And you don't even know where I'm going with this one yet. We didn't talk about it in the pre-chat. 34-31, I think what happens is Tony Romo has one last drive, and he's been a good comeback quarterback. But like you, I think the Packer defense steps up at the end of the game, makes a play, and the Packers actually win 34-31. It's going to be a close game, though. To be honest, the keys of the game that we talked about are so critical that if we don't do the things we talked about, it could very well be a Cowboy win. But I think the Packers defense is going to make a play on the last drive. Tony Romo will have the ball with a chance to win the game, and I think Dom Capers is going to dial up some crazy way to pressure him, and we force Tony Romo out of the pocket, and that defense comes up with a big play, and we win 34-31. So with that said, Bud, let's, I thought it was another great ramble tonight. I introduced the show. As always, I'm going to let you end the show, Bud.
Okay, well, I'm going to end it with another plug. About 2 years ago at this time, I was extremely overweight, and, my weight ballooned up to about 380, and I'm down to about
90 seconds.
Looking to lose about 40 to 50 more pounds. And what helped with that is just by, focusing on fitness and eating right and those things. And then I recently became a Beachbody coach. Beachbody, thanks for, they're behind P90X, Insanity, Hip Hop Abs, Shakeology, all those things. Now, I use Shakeology now, and, as you saw, Troy, my tweet this morning, that was my breakfast. As you
60 seconds.
Bacon. I had a shake, a meal replacement shake. But since I've been taking that, I don't have the cravings anymore, like the mid-afternoon or late mornings anymore. But so I'm putting this out there for anyone that's interested in trying to get fit, get healthy. Go to facebook.com /Coach Edubs. It's EDUBS Fitness. Facebook.com /Coach Edubs Fitness. Like the page, and I talk about all the stuff that I'm trying to help people with on there. So give it a look.
Sounds good, Bud. And I'll tell you what, we'll put that out on our Facebook page also. I know we'll tweet it out. As always, our pleasure. We'll see you guys at the next red light.
10
Have a great day.